Hey everybody, it's Psychic Hunter David. Well, it's really interesting. I've heard all this talk. I've got a lot of close individuals and my ex-partner and my lawyer, a lot of people contacting me. We're all talking about the aspect of the sadness of Canada Day apparently being cancelled. The Prime Minister cancelled it in Montreal, and they've done that now in BC. And apparently now our mayor is going to do it here. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I thought, get out of the way, Cat. I thought I'm going to just do a little look-see at what's going on. There's been a lot of talk about, and I've been pretty sharp about this. About 3 or 4 years ago, I spoke about the fact that there would be an actual swing of the pendulum from the liberal to the actual conservative energy everywhere. It would just go like an absolute, gangplank sinking. It's just this is what's happening. The only country I would say that, and I got to get the big girl out of the way because she is notorious. I'm not the only one with a big black cat in Canada that does their readings I've seen. So anyway, she's a good girl, but she likes to get in the tarot cards and sit on them. She doesn't do that during a reading, though. The thing I'm going to talk about is what's going on. So this is about relationship. This means a relationship to elect, etc., etc., etc. The crossing influence, of course, is this page of or Knight of Swords, and this is gossip. And he said, she said. There's a period of time in here, which could be the last 5 or 6 years. And above, there's the Eight of Cups, which means nowhere to go except to let go. So I would predict psychically that within the course of the next week, even sooner, you may very well see that the Liberals call an election. It could very well be that our Prime Minister is hurt. I mean, I don't dislike the individual. I believe, he's a Capricorn with Moon in Aries. It's a very difficult placement. And Moon and Aries, their emotions are on fire. And right now the North Node is there, which is a destined scenario, which means sometimes, there is this aspect of letting go. You can't get everybody to always believe what you want them to believe. They're going to take it and leave it, and that's it. So I would say no matter what, you're going to see this situation collapse on some level. It doesn't it's not collapsing as in horrifically, it's letting go, meaning that there's a decision made, okay, we let go, we give up, we go from here. Then the issue is the High Priestess, which is very spiritual. It also represents to the feminine high power. It also means that there's some destiny playing out here. Now remember, I've mentioned this already, that there are 2 full moons in Capricorn. We just went through one, and there's the new moon in Cancer, but by that time Saturn's already retrograding in Pisces, and then there's yet another full moon in Capricorn. So he is a Capricorn sun sign, period. And that we're talking about the Prime Minister, what's happening with Canada, where do we go from here, and what now has been also started with this cancellation of Canada Day. There's some emotional stuff in here, which is this Page of Cups, which could be childhood issues. What other people are going to recognize is death in the environment, which means there's an ending coming. That there's no running around this, there's no getting away with it, there's no running very far. The whole world's going through call elections. France and Britain are the last 2 on the list. America's already been planned for some time. All of Europe more or less went conservative. And then of course we've got us. So I would say that's going to happen. And then in a hope-fear position, there's the Moon, which is fear of instability, fear of deception, fear of being let down, da-da-da-da. The outcome is the King of Pentacles, which could very well be our Prime Minister being a Capricorn. That is an Earth King. And we've got in here this 7 of Swords, which means in some way there's this big fear that making away with something. Like, is he making away with something? Or it sometimes there's a great deal of suspicion, which makes sense. And then the outcome here is the 5 of Pentacles, which this illustrator has decided upon as a period of isolation. I find the 5 of Pentacles just means, just get out of Dodge for a while. So I would say, in all honesty, the end is near. I would say that the time for the leadership structure in Canada, as far as the leader, to step down and say, listen, okay, I've done what I've done. I had 6, maybe 5.5 really good years, and it's gone on way too long. Could very well be what's happening. And I'm just giving you a psychic interpretation. It's not my opinion. I'm not necessarily saying anything. I was revving when he won and walked Pride that year, many years back. And I just think things have got out of hand, and there's too much of an extreme amount of idealism in the world instead of really dealing with pragmatic practicalities. And this is something that I think is really kind of bugging me a little. Not everybody can get along, and not everybody can be a millionaire. It just means work, and I do believe firmly in creative visualization. But if that was the way, and everything was always perfect, and we're all going to be millionaires, we'd run into a lot of trouble, because who'd do the work to get us what we want for dinner? So anyway, maybe AI will in the future. Maybe then we'll all be millionaires. Anyway, I've taken up your time. I just did this as a little tweak, just to let everybody sort of understand. And maybe I'll do one for the American election too in the future, just to see my philosophies. But I would sort of say that they've lost the structure in Canada that is the ruling party. In regards to the federal structure, I think they've lost 65% of their faith in their voters, and it's sad, because it probably could even be 70, but it's definitely problematic, and it's usually this swing from left to right, from right to left. It's where's the choices. Anyway, you heard it here first. I hope you guys have a great day. It's raining a little in Toronto, but it's good because it's cooling things up a little. Very weird weather this summer. I had an intuitive feeling this was going to be a weird summer. And I didn't say too much about, wow, we can expect a gorgeous one. Last year was beautiful. This year, Anyway, I'm around for readings, feeling a lot better, and I wish you guys all the best. You heard it here first.